How would you respond to that, PKD Nambiar, BJP supporter? Because on one hand, you can tout the numbers to show that there's been a turnaround, but as Amitabh and others have pointed out, it's only within the top tier of the economy where things are looking quite good. For everyone else, it's quite grim.
That may not be actually true. If you really look at it, almost 3.9%. One of the sector which was not really affected is our agrarian economy. That is one of the sector which gives the maximum amount of employment even today in our country. So that may not be true to that extent. But then there is one thing I can tell you, that there is we just came out of, or we're just still trying to come out of a global challenge rather than it's not just a domestic challenge.
Sure.
So of course there are challenges as an economy. We all have wish list. We need to understand we are a diversified country. Being a diversified country, we are also a diversified economy. We have a strong service sector, we have a strong manufacturing sector.
One thing though, I just want to jump in to say this idea that keeps coming up that, because of the pandemic, but we have the numbers. We can actually put up that graphic to show you that the economy was falling for multiple quarters even before the pandemic. So hence the argument that there was economic, either you call it mismanagement or you just call it whatever term one wants to call it. The growth had started to fall even pre-pandemic, and it just got exacerbated by the pandemic.
Let me just bring this to your notice, because this is something which we have been hearing from the last few days because of the budget, that there was a great slowdown during the pre-pandemic. So the word slowdown is not really correct. The slowdown in the growth is maybe the right word to put it. Because of course, if we are expecting a 7% growth or an 8% growth, that has come down a little bit from the point of view. It is also because of a global challenge. It was, if you really look at it, all the emerging economy across the world were having a very, very major slowdown during that particular period. So it is not just affected. So you need to understand, we are living in a global arena. Every economy is interconnected. So it is not like that we are a standalone economy and where it will nothing will be affected to us.
PKD Nambiar, firstly, okay, those are the numbers up on screen. Firstly, one can't go on blaming global indices for everything that happens in this country. Number two, not every economy in the world was slowing down. Some economies were actually doing quite well. India was, in fact, one of the global laggards even before the pandemic. But leaving that aside, what are we now heading into? Nasser Salim is with us, Flexi Capital. Nasser, good to have you on. What's your...
Can I just...
Yes. Okay. Sorry, Nasser, before I come to you. Yes, PKD, quickly. And then,
no, what we need to do, and see, there is no doubt that there was definitely a growth slowdown. There's all the fact and the data is absolutely up there in front of all of us. Yes. But one thing we need to understand, as we talk today, we are today in a better footing as a country.
We're in a better footing.
Almost 75% of the population vaccinated.
Fair enough.
I think what we need to do, we are also an emotional economy, Vasu. So we are in a right footing.
We're on a right footing. Let me come back to you. PKD, I'll come back.
I just want a quick second before I answer you this. What Nasir said is very interesting. I want to go a step further. For an example, real estate sector, which he was talking about, we are talking about giving additional benefit to that sector because it's a very big employment. I would go a further step. I think it's high time for the government to give an industry status to the real estate sector. Unless and until we don't give an industry status to that sector, that sector will always be considered as a second-class citizen, whereas that is providing the large amount of investment also in the employment. Now coming back to your question, see, you need to understand that our economy is also on a transformation stage, Srinivasan. We are becoming more of it's not anymore that a test cricket match. Our economy is more of like now behaving more of like a T20, that it is speed which is a big matter of concern. The idea of way we have to handle our economy today is not the age-old way wherein we were talking about the waterfall method and the new method which the government is agile economic status. And welfare is not going to be. What I wanted to say is that welfareism is not going to be anymore a significant part of any of our economy from now onwards. The reason being that we had it in the past, elections are keep coming and going, but that will not be affecting a budget. Maybe it may have a little bit of tinge somewhere, because at the end of the day, it's politics, it will be there, but then it is not going to be the predominant affect